Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers out there. It is Monday, June 9th, 2025. It has been a karmic weekend for a lot of people. I had a restful weekend simply because, moving an office and cleaning an entire house in 1 week at 43 years old, body kind of fights back. So do we have a lot of stuff to catch up on in regards to current events? Yes, I do. So I am here to fill your day with a little bit of current events, catch you up, do some writing sprints to get you productive, and, maybe buy 2 hours of your time with a little bit more entertainment than anything else. So let me roll the opener and we can get on with it. All right. Well, first things first. Love you to all my replay crew who has been coming back. I do appreciate you guys. Hello to all of our new subscribers. It's good to see you. I hope everybody had a very productive, but maybe restful. If not, I hope you all had a good karmic weekend because it's not been the good karma for a lot of people out there. I am here working on voiceovers for season 1, episode 2 of my pictures. I got a lot done in this weekend in regards to collecting pictures, getting trailers done, getting recordings done and everything else. Why is the frog tickling my throat already? I have no idea. Oh. We're going to take a sip of that though. But it is 101 degrees outside my current window in Spokane, and I'm enjoying the breeze coming through my window. Am I a desert baby? Can you tell? 101 degrees, and I'm like, I'm happy I can wear short sleeves. So I'm getting distracted. How often do I do this? Not that often, because I am getting distracted by my own tattoos in my own reflection, and it's kind of cracking me up. But I do see Cora's comments coming in. So first of all, if you are new here and you're not used to what we do around here, we are here to have conversation, to give each other props up on production and productivity and work, and just to overall be a positive, embracing community. So for those of you who have explained to me that you're a little nervous to comment in the comment section, just know that's why Cora is here. Cora is not going to let any hate come to you. She is going to make sure that there's nothing but love and happiness happening in our comments, because that is the way I run my channel. I don't deal with arguments. I don't deal with hate. There's a lot of controversial things going on right now, so I'll kind of let some things slide because you are entitled to your opinion. However, people have been finding out very quickly that you will be blocked from my Facebook if you decide that you're just going to hate monger. We're here for constructive criticism. We're here for speech. What is it? Conversation, accountability, and change. That's my motto. That's the way we keep it around here. There's no hate. So for my clients of you that always are like, oh, well, I'll be in Discord, but I'm not going to be in the chats. Cora's going to, trust me, Cora's got my back. She's a Virgo to my Scorpio. And trust me, if there's anybody who can match a Scorpio in defending the family and defending friends, it's a Virgo. So just know that. We're going to pop into here because she is commenting. We'll be in and out, dinner and then bedtime. And she says she's in and out, but that just means out of the comments, guys. She's usually always watching and listening. Because I remember you guys saying, well, your moderator's always in and out. Well, yes, but trust me, there's so much, that woman can multitask like no other. Just announced, Judge, I saw that. We are going to get into that. However, there's some stuff going on with that they're not mentioning. Because of that I would like to bring into the conversation before everybody is just like, Blake won. No, Blake pulled out on a lot of things, and it caused the judge to dismiss the case because of the fact that things were dismissed without prejudice or with prejudice. So Blake couldn't bring them back in, and that ended up there's a lot of things that were taken away before the judge decided that he couldn't move forward with the case. So, and we are going to talk about that. We'll be video editing because my procrastinated ass didn't touch it. Don't feel bad. If all you had was procrastination this weekend, that's a great thing. This is what I'm going to say. Do you remember a month ago when and it was, if you don't remember this, it was a month ago or over a month ago, because it was in, yeah, it was the end of May. Somebody got really sick, and they kind of were forced to procrastinate. So you're not necessarily you're procrastinating in your world, not necessarily in theirs. And they're not wrong when this comes up. Some things just do take priority, and they require more energy, and you chose that. So couple of things I do want to get over and get off my chest, because I had, as much of a great weekend as I had a bit of a frustrating one. First of all, if you all watched my stream on Friday, my lovely ring light decided to die right at the beginning. Actually, it was my spare ring light, because my original ring light, the other one that I bought to replace the spare, because the spare was getting old and I noticed it was getting wonky or overheated during the 2-hour live streams. That one died 2 minutes before my live stream went on. So threw in my spare. Spare died during the live stream. So this weekend, Kibby, even with as sore as I was after cleaning, got my butt out to, and I had a second excuse because I had to go pick up my cannabis meds, but went to Target originally to get a ring light. I walked around the entertainment section for probably a good 5 minutes, to the point that I found a gentleman that came walking up to the entertainment center, and I'm thinking that he worked there because he was dressed really nicely. Come to find out, no, he was the AT&T representative. But he said that, and I saw him, he called for a technician to come to, or a customer service to come to the electronics center. Well, I walked around for another 20 minutes. Nobody. And I couldn't find the ring light. I literally was just like, if I could have found it myself, I would have bought it. I'm guessing they don't have it, but still, nobody showed up. Couldn't find the ring light. I really didn't want to go to Walmart. If y'all know, I am kind of boycotting Walmart right now because tariff reasons, but inevitably it ended up, God works in mysterious ways, you guys. That's all I can say, is because I ended up waiting around that long at Target. Walked out because I was like, I don't have all day. I'm gonna find a ring light, whether I have to have it overnighted or not, from Amazon. So I went to Walmart, walked straight into the electronics section. 2 people standing there ready to assist, found a ring light. The guy was nice enough. I wish I had grabbed his name. The gentleman was nice enough to actually help me find a ring light. Not only that, but I refuse now to buy a ring light that doesn't plug into the wall. It's either, if it's a USB cord, I'm not buying it anymore. They overheat. They don't last as long as they should, and it's not worth it. I have literally spent $100 this year on ring lights. I'm not doing like, that's ridiculous. So he searched with me till I found a ring light that actually plugs straight into the wall. Not only that, but it has a remote. It's like super fancy. It's also that big. Literally. It is literally that big. It was one of those things where it was like, fine, I would rather have a really big ring light and have it plug into the wall, because it seems like the ones with the USB keep overheating, and that's what's frying their circuits or whatever. And considering I live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and with my whole setup, it's not that easy to crawl behind the desk and just unplug a USB, cord every single time I'm finished live streaming. So $50 later, luckily it's a tax write-off because it is for my business, but still, and having done taxes for quite some time, I can tell you guys, just because I say it's a tax write-off doesn't mean the whole $50 is a tax write-off. Maybe $15 of it I'll be able to actually write off in the end, if not less than that. That would be being extremely generous on my end of the things, truthfully. Anyway, so, but we do have a new ring light. It's all fancy, you guys. Look, with the push of a button, we can, like, it has effects. It literally has a button that says effects. Push it for, I have no idea what it does. Oh, look, we can go magic colors. Ooh. And then we have other colors. Okay. And then we have just regular, and then max brightness. Oh, I bet that'll just, yep. Oh, that's too. We have a maximum brightness. So yeah, I have to stick it between my monitors, but I have a remote and everything. We have a new ring light. Yay, it should all be set up. But can I say, Target, if you want my business, on my way out of Target, I literally stopped by the customer service desk and said to them, like, when somebody calls you to assist somebody in the electronics center, you might want to send somebody back there so that, because you just lost a sale, literally. And with the way Target and everybody's doing right now, a $50 sale in the electronics department would have been pretty good for Target. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I live in Spokane. It's not exactly wealthy around here. So a $50 sale is, from what I understand, a fairly big sale. I'm a big city girl, but I understand that, like, yeah, we need to stop. I need to understand that $50 is a lot of money. It's hard when I grew up in California and they are now looking like everybody's going aghast over $10 in gas. And I remember the first time it hit $5 in gas and the same reaction. And yeah, you have a governor and a mayor that are just going to keep causing you problems if you guys don't fix things. I mean, well, San Diego has a different mayor than LA, but the politics are still the same. Anyway, what did you have here? It sucks that I have to video edit because in the story, shit is about to hit the fan and I have been waiting to write it. Ha ha. I've been wanting to write. Oh, I missed it. I've been wanting to write I have been wanting to write over video editing so that what I was to do over the weekend, but you procrastinated. And now we have a new ring light. Hello, Maria. It's nice to meet you. So on that note, we are going to jump into our first 10-minute sprint. But when we get back, I'm going to, so let me pull my whole list in front of me. Since I still have to take my CPU down to, so I figured out what's going on with my Word document stuff. Basically, I have 2 subscriptions on my accounts. I have 2, I'm sorry. Well, I don't do free readings. Number 1. Number 2, today is writing sprints. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you wanting to do that. However, I don't do free readings right now. On June 20th, we are doing free readings. If you would like a reading, I do have the information down below in my bio where you can contact me. And I'd be more than happy to set you up and have you do a reading. But today is actually writing sprints. Monday and Wednesday are writing sprints. Fridays are when I do psychic readings, and those are currently for all my paying clients. We're trying to get up to 500 subs so that we can do paid readings during live streams, because then it's a lot easier to pay and we don't have to deal with outside sources. But yeah, we don't do free readings on this channel. I'm sorry. I appreciate you coming in, though. But we are going to jump into a 10-minute sprint. You would never go to an attorney or a lawyer or a doctor or an editor or anything else and ask them questions and expect free answers. And it always shocks me that people expect that from psychics. Do you know how much energy it takes to do a reading for people? No. You have no idea how much energy they had to expel to get the education to be able to be the lawyer. So it really irks me when people are just like, give me stuff for free now, because you can and you have the ability, so do it. And it's no. I would never expect an attorney to answer a question for free. I would never expect a doctor to answer something for free. Even when it came to setting up our YouTubes, nobody gave us the answers. We had to research and figure it out ourselves. So I appreciate you wanting a reading and you needing a reading. However, I don't appreciate people begging for things for free. And honestly, that's probably why you're in the situation that you're in, and probably why you're so anxious, because of the fact that you demand answers. And yeah. And she jumped out of here as soon as I said that I don't do free readings. And that just, if she was really actually interested in getting a reading, she would have hung out. So proof is in the pudding, you guys. Proof is in the pudding. Anyway, we are going to jump into a 10-minute sprint though. I always tell my clients, if you ever actually want to know what people's agendas are, actions speak louder than words. Press the mute button, literally. Silence whatever they're saying and watch their actions. And nine out of 10 times, the truth is revealed. So in 10 minutes, and also, I want to say thank you to Cora, because inevitably she is going to try to get us some more ocean wave sounds. There's just situations going on right now where she can't exactly get the beach for alone, all by herself. But inevitably, we might end up having beach sounds. We'll see. It's easier for me not to have them when editing, but I also had some clients tell me that they really liked it. So anyway, 10 minutes on the clock. I will see you all in 10 minutes. When we get back, we're talking about the Elon versus Trump situation and why I didn't, and guys, I saw that it was a big old ploy from the very beginning. I'm going to be talking about the LA riots and the Portland anarchy going on. We've got massive storm systems coming. We've got the Beyonce Cowboy Tour opinion predictions that's coming up. We've got Queen Camille's situation. We've got Greta Thunberg, Gaza. We've got Rachel Zegler is back in the news, guys. She might be facing a felon. From what I can see, she's about to lose everything. So I'm going to be ranting about that. Anyway, from Meghan Markle to Queen Camille to all of it. I've got predictions and rants for you. So we'll get into it after this 10-minute sprint. So in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute your And that's the end of that sprint. All right. So I was able to get, oh gosh, how many voiceovers done? I don't know. 30 voiceovers done. We're up to almost the 4-minute mark in episode 2 of, of my picture. No, the second video picture, the picture video thing of Dance Moms. Anyway, couple announcements. Oh yeah, I have to take this little thingy off. First, we're gonna do like this. All right, so it's muted. It's done. We're gonna pause. It's gonna add to stage, but we're gonna pause. Okay, so couple announcements before we start gabbing about the gossip. I have a couple uploads coming soon on my channel. I have a Unpacking the Chaos, a short little video of the work that we had to do to move offices, of changing this guest room into an office and changing a spare room into the guest room, and so on and so forth. It also shows a little bit of how close it is to my bedroom, and how this end of the house is now my little wing of the house. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so I have that coming on my channel. And then we do have some, Cora and I, speaking of Cora, here she comes. 2 minutes of her video editing. Very nice, very nice. Cora and I agreed that we're going to launch 2 videos early on our Cora and Kibby Reacts channel, simply because it is the Snow White and reaction to the trailer and reaction to the Lilo and Stitch trailers. And I just don't want too much time to pass in between snow. We're officially launching the channel in August, but these are 2 really good tester videos or feeler videos. It's also a good way for Cora to give me any tweaks or anything on, it's kind of a pre-launch to our launch. And we're also I don't want too much time to pass between when Snow White came out and our trailer reaction. And I thought, because media was kind of dying down on Rachel Zegler, but it just so happens that the young lady just cannot stop creating chaos for herself. So jumping into that, after those 2 announcements, you like my little segue? Basically, Rachel Zegler, if you haven't heard, was in the process of doing the lead role for Evita. First of all, if you've never done your research on Evita, please understand that it is based actually on, the musical itself is based on actual historical events. Evita was an actual person from Argentina that fought for, I believe, civil rights of the Argentinian people. I believe there was also a part in there where she was a spoiled brat. It's been please forgive me. It's been a minute since I've seen it. I watched Evita when Madonna did the role back in the day. Yes, Madonna played and sang Evita. If you didn't know that, I highly recommend go looking it up. So I was aghast to find out that not only was Rachel Zegler causing problems on set, but evidently what she was causing problems on set about was the fact that she didn't agree with the way that Evita was being portrayed. She didn't agree with the storyline and the way that it was being told. And she wanted to change the portrayal of Evita. There's a part of me where I was just like, oh, the director was probably pissed. Truthfully, the director was probably livid, because the guy that's directing Evita is actually a director who's been doing it for a while. This isn't his first rodeo, his first show doing Evita, okay? Second of all, several of the cast members are long-standing cast members for the Evita production. Just because they audition, you have to audition every year, but that doesn't mean that there aren't certain people that are guaranteed the role, okay? Third of all, why is my Wi-Fi fighting me? We pay way too much in Wi-Fi for it to be fighting me, and that is absolutely ridiculous. So please don't make me do this again, so I'm not watching the Wi-Fi struggle because StreamYard is ridiculous. Anyway, so now, according to a recent possible situation that's going on within the cast, allegedly, there was another scuffle in regards to the cast members, in regards to Rachel Zegler playing the role of Evita, where an argument broke out and Miss Rachel Zegler decided to spit on one of the co-stars. If you didn't know, spitting is considered a felony in America. I believe in most countries, it's actually considered a felony. I know for a fact and for sure that in America, it's considered a felony. So if you want to know just what kind of karmic hammer God is bringing down, it's this kind of karmic hammer where basically people like Rachel Zegler that refuse to absolutely take any accountability or responsibility for their own actions or how their own energy contributed to their downfall are going to be handed constantly karmic lessons until either A, they completely hit rock bottom and have to face the facts, or B, wise up enough to actually face the facts. Rachel Zegler seems to be the latter. I don't understand how somebody who has gotten so much advice from so many different sources continues to resist the fact that just maybe, just maybe, she might be a little bit of a problem. And just maybe she might need to take a little bit of accountability in the fact that she maybe started a lot of all of this. So to Rachel Zegler, my best advice to you is if you haven't already, please lawyer up, because you're about to as my angels say it, the shit storm that is about to hit you, no umbrella that you currently have is going to cover you. And to avoid actually being buried alive, you're going to need to start digging now. So there is a part of me that kind of feels sorry for Rachel. At the same time, I feel about as sorry for her as I do Meghan Markle, because if there's another person who just doesn't seem to get the message that what she's doing is not part of God's plan for her. Here's the thing. Yes, we have free will, but God still has a plan. And ultimately, he's going to guide you. Your angels are put in place to guide you exactly where you need to go. Some people completely resist their entire lives. Some people resist half their lives and then figure it out. Hi, I'm one of those. And some people figure it out very young and become very successful human beings. Rachel Zegler is she's worse than I was. Like, you maybe, like, I was stubborn in my 20s. However, when facing lawsuits of this kind, yeah, I think it was because my dad was a cop and my mom was a teacher. There was points when I was just like, this is the time that you shut your mouth. This is the time that you step back. This would be the time that you stop fighting and start strategizing, because either shit's going to hit the fan and you'll be able to dodge it, or you're going to ignore it and take it full frontal. And at this point, yeah. And I wanted to say that Rachel has already gotten the full frontal of it. I'm hearing that this is just the start. Because truthfully, if she really is as resistant as she has been with other things, this lawsuit is not going to pan out well for her. And she's so young. Like, this is the other thing. Like, she's so young. She's so young, and she doesn't understand that she's going to be spending 20 years of her life literally having to prove to the world that she's not what she has proven already she is. And that's the hard part of it. And I only know this because I did exactly the same thing. Believe me, there's a lot of people in my 20s. Yeah. I've tried to mend bridges. I've tried to apologize. I understand that there's some people that are just never going to see me differently. There are some decisions that I made in my 20s that were horrific decisions. And yes, I did my best to be a good person, but you can only push a good person too far before they snap. And there are several times that I snapped. And as much as I want to excuse it away, saying it's all their fault, the truth is I made the choice to snap. And I made the actions and I did what I did. Whatever negative influences, whether human or demonic, decided to creep in my ear and whisper, and I decided to listen, that was my choice. And my response to it was my decision. And that's what I think Rachel Zegler seems to not understand, along with Meghan Markle, along with Queen Camille. There's a lot of, if you notice, I was saying since the beginning of the year, God is going to bring the karmic hammer down on those who refuse to listen for the last 5-10 years. He's doing so. And with Meghan Markle, if you haven't heard, she is now dealing with an entire situation where she might be sued by Disney, because thank you to Steph the Alter Nerd for pointing something out that I immediately noticed when I saw this. So if you hadn't seen lately or this weekend, Meghan and Harry decided to take a trip to Disneyland with their kids. Well, they brought along what looked like a professional photographer. And they're posting all of these pictures to their social media. Well, there's a problem with this. Disney actually has restrictions and prohibition and they actually have clauses. They actually have clauses with it that you have to sign when you purchase a ticket that prohibits exactly this. They prohibit outside professional photography from coming in and doing exactly this. No theme park allows it. It's not just Disney. Miley Cyrus had the same problem at Magic Mountain. How do I know this? Because my ex and I used to have season passes to Magic Mountain. We'd go on the weekends. One random weekend in March, we were up there. The only way we knew it was Miley Cyrus was because this huge group of screaming girls was literally trailing behind like 3 individuals that were just like wrapped by people in black clothing. And I was just like, okay, that's special security. That's some sort of famous people and obviously fans screaming by. And the tail of them came up. And so I don't remember if it was me or my ex who asked, but one of us asked, and she was like, it's Miley Cyrus, and was screaming up the street. And I was just giggling because I was just like, yeah, because that's the way you have to do it as a famous person. You're not allowed to have it a huge PR media, whatever, because guess what? The theme park wants to regulate how their reputation is exposed. And Disney is no different. If anything, Disney is in such dire straits right now with their reputation. The last person they probably want clinging to it is Meghan Markle. You don't necessarily have the reputation right now to be able to be like, Dior asked you to take their items off of your website for a reason. Okay. Ann Winters took you off the cover of Vogue for a reason. It's not, you are, and I'm not like, here's the thing. She is a pretty lady. She is a very pretty lady, but that's not the only thing you need in order to get onto the cover of Vogue. That's not the only thing you need in order to use Disney as a PR. Like Dior wants you to have a little bit more substance to you. It seems like to me, Meghan Markle thought that a lot of these companies were as fake as empty as she was, and she's quickly finding out that that's not the case. A lot of these companies actually do have a little bit of substance to them. I mean, most of them didn't make it this big without having some substance to them. And again, I think Meghan Markle's finding that out. I mean, Goop even. Who would have thought that, her I can't think of her name real quick. I'm horrible with names, you guys. I can only think of her company, Goop. But who would have thought that her entire concept would take off? I mean, she sells a candle that smells like her. But it's successful. Why? Because she actually has substance to her. Gwyneth Paltrow, thank you. Because Gwyneth Paltrow actually has substance to her. And here's another thing. I don't necessarily like Gwyneth Paltrow. There's something about her that just irks me. It's not anything that she's bad. It's just some energies don't mesh. I've learned that. However, when she got sued by that skier, I went into the case completely open-minded, thinking, maybe Meghan or maybe Gwyneth was blowing it up. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe the guy was actually telling the truth about the ski accident, whatever else. But by the end of it, I was team Gwen all the way, because I was just like, this guy is completely lying about how he couldn't get a story straight on how the impact happened. His injuries didn't line up with the impacts. Not only that, but like at first his sunglasses flew off, and then it was Gwen's sunglasses that flew off, and then it was assistant's sunglasses oh God, that case was it was bonkers if you actually listen to it. So I don't necessarily like Gwen all that much, but by the end of it, I was team Gwen. I can't be team Meghan Markle with how many things that I've seen happen with her and how many times that they've come out and done stuff like this. And not only that, but the absolutely appalling twerking video. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't be sexy when you're pregnant. I'm not saying that you can't twerk yourself when you're pregnant. You want to twerk in your hospital room right before you're giving birth with your husband? You go for it. You go for it, girl. Don't post it on social media. Some things should remain private. Like, it was one of those concepts where I literally like, this is a video that you keep between you and your husband, and you guys pull out when you're wasted on Halloween or Christmas and you need a good laugh. That is what you keep that video for. You don't post it on social media to try to recoup your reputation when it's completely failing because your podcast failed, your business failed, the royal family wants to basically strip you of the title. You didn't think your husband was as wealthy as he was, and your complete facade of wanting to be this Queen Catherine level of a person just is completely shattering and falling apart. The last thing you want to do is put a twerking video of yourself while pregnant in the delivering. Not only that, but I did question if she was really pregnant, because there's not a single female that I know that was like about to give birth that was twerking like that. And being able to hike up the belly like that. Like, normally at that point, it's dropped. Normally the baby's dropped at that point, and being able to hike up the belly like that, like, is painful. Like, normally the baby's turned and in position. Like, so I have just watching that portion of it, I had so many questions about that video. I was like, where's the baby's head? Where's the baby's feet? Is she trying? And that's another thing. Like, do the doctors tell you to twerk like that to maybe induce labor? And if so, cool. But because I don't know, that is a question I have. I'm not a mother. I've never had a kid. But again, don't take a video of it and post it on the internet. Okay. So that's my rant on that. I wasn't even going to say anything about the whole twerking video, but there, I got into it. So anyway, I also think it's very weird with the as ever movements. If you haven't heard recently, Meghan Markle has announced that Netflix might be helping her start a restaurant chain in connection to as ever. The whole concept of that still, like, I am a very creative person. I can cut, you guys have heard some of my crazy conspiracies. I can't piece together how that would work. Even with my spider web of craziness of thinking, I can't figure out how she's going to equate the as ever brand to a restaurant. I'm struggling. Unless she's going to steal Martha Stewart and, a bunch of people's recipes. I really don't know how she's doing it. And if that's the case, that she, if she was smart, what she might want to do is actually talk to all these people that she stole recipes from and be like, hey, you want to go into an investment of a restaurant with me? Just a thought. But I don't think that'll happen, because I'm pretty sure Meghan just wants everybody to believe that she cooked it all herself. Cora, evidently in that last sprint, got 2 minutes of video editing done. In 10 minutes, she got 2 minutes of editing done with 3 kids. I don't know how this woman does it. She has like she is like Colleen, where she can slow down time for herself. What is it with you guys? You can slow down time. I have time blindness, so time just disappears for me because of my ADHD. But we are going to jump into another 20, or our first 20-minute sprint, because I sat here and rambled for a good little while. When we get back, I'm gonna cross out real quick what I already talked about. Okay, so when we get back, I might rant about Queen Camille, and then at the end we might cover the Elon Trump thing. So 20 minutes on the clock, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. Go eat something, go get some laundry done, do some voiceovers, do some video editing, write 150,000 words. Who knows? I'll see you all in 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget. All right. That's the end of that sprint. How did we do? Hopefully we got more than 2 minutes done. I'm going to guess that Cora got about 10 minutes done. No. Yeah, I'm going to say about 10 minutes that Cora got. I was able to get done 112 voiceovers. Total these 2 sprints. That's total the 2 sprints. I'm at minute mark 12. Oh, it moved again. Hold on. 12. I know it's 12. 12:15 or 12:20, depending where you're looking at. My allergies decided to go a little nutso, but I can also hear construction equipment going. So I think they're kicking up the dust over there. So if you hear me a little sniffly or saw me sneezing, that's what it is. My allergies. Gotta love it. I take allergy meds, but you can only do so much. So how much do we'll wait for Cora to come in, but while we're waiting for Cora to let us know, and anybody else that's coming in, if you're here already, the YouTube algorithm AI likes it when you say, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell if you haven't already. If you say it halfway through your stream, it actually does boost your channel more. So we're just going to throw that in there because it makes the algorithm happy, and we like making the algorithm happy because yeah. Anyway, going into this weekend, if a lot of you haven't been, I know a lot of my friends have been avoiding the politics on a massive level. I have too, for the most part. There's a couple of things that I've noticed only because it has reminded me of past situations. And I'm a psychic. I check in on things. When I feel energies have been disrupted or are off in some sort of level, I check in on things. And I have felt disruption down in San Diego in that area for a while. Hold on. 4 minutes edited. Oh, got to get a toddler down. I was going to say, your little ones have been driving you crazy for the last couple days. So I'm not surprised if you're not as productive as usual. And you even said you're procrastinating. So this weekend, we went into the weekend, on Friday, I mentioned a little bit about the big, beautiful bill and how I'm not exactly happy with it. Well, evidently, somebody else wasn't happy about it either, his name being Elon. And he decided to supposedly pop off on Trump this weekend. Now, I thought this was odd because I saw it. It came across my feed, and then something told me when I saw it come across my feed, because I was going to click on it, something told me, probably my angels, that it's orchestrated. The whole thing was orchestrated. It was like, don't believe it. It's fake. It's orchestrated. They're doing something else. My gut instinct is Trump and Elon have learned to outsmart the media, and they're now using tactics in order to filter out the snakes and the rats within the political level. Because not only did they come out and announce that this whole thing was a setup and they did this on purpose, but what they're not revealing is that during this whole switcheroo, there's a lot of people that ended up going to Elon and trying to bring him to the Democratic side. There's a lot of, let's just say, from what my angels are telling me, there's a lot of people that suddenly exposed themselves, and this needed to happen. Basically, this was the only way to expose these people, and they're going to be taken care of. So I thought that was very interesting because usually I'll react to this stuff. Normally I'll write it down and be like, okay, well, what's going on? But it was immediate that my angels were like, no, there's nothing to this. This is literally being put out on the front to expose something on the back end. And as soon as it's done, they'll both retract their statements and everything will be good to go. But also, this allows a distance to be created between Trump and Elon because Elon's company was suffering. Elon kind of needed a way to be able to create a distance or a divide from Trump. It was very close. It was very clear to most of social media or whatever that they had gotten very close, and they had. I think, truthfully, when I look at it, I think they bonded more over being dads, being fathers to sons than anything else. A lot of their conversations that I can sense revolve around family and home and managing children and the job, not necessarily about the job. And like Trump is like, they're like, I'm not saying that they didn't discuss business, but I'm seeing that a lot of the business that was discussed, it was people that were assigned to or delegated out to those things. And then Elon just kind of oversaw everything. And then Trump answered to all these other people. And from what I understand about Doge, that's kind of how it's been left anyway. I could see how Elon would have been put in place to teach them how to write code, to be able to create the AI, to be able to find what they need to find and be able to discover what they need to discover. But I think this entire situation between Trump and Elon was a way to expose some people on the back end in the Democratic Party that were snakes and rats, and B, to, on the forefront, allow a divide to be created between Trump and Elon so that they weren't so closely connected anymore. Because the truth is, they need to disassociate. They actually do. Elon needs to go back to running his business, and Trump needs to go back to being the president. That's how it was supposed to be. Elon was only supposed to come in for a short time and help fix things, help set things up, and then he was supposed to go. He was supposed to be one of those business associates, or what do they call them? This happens on business level where they'll bring somebody in to fix and kind of realign the business. And then as soon as that person's 6-month contract is up, they leave, they're gone. But the company's got, better finances, better alignment, better path forward. Business analysts, that's what I think they're called. So I think, anyway, that is honestly what I saw with that. However, the LA and the Portland riots, what is going on in LA? I thought it was interesting because I made a little post on my Facebook page, and I stated name the reasons I'm happy to not live in California anymore. I forgot the anymore because I forgot not everybody follows me, knows that I grew up in California. And I said, number 1, LA riots. Number 2, everything else. Well, let's just say I didn't think it was that political of a argument, but wow, politics is really just I don't know what gas is being fed to the people in California, but a lot of you are gaslighted on an extreme level. First of all, to the gentleman who told me that I should probably live in California before I decide to state my political views about it, I did. I lived there for 35 years. I was born and raised. I ran from California in 2019. It's only gotten worse since I left. So for him to, and my response to him, do your research before you decide to attack somebody in the comments, because honestly, all you did is make yourself look like an ignoramus. And also, I hope you read the link that I connected to prove to you that ignoramus is an actual word. I know a lot of you from my past are very much used to a kibby that was on lithium and Seroquel and citalopram and all of those psych meds. But guess what, guys? I haven't been on psych meds in 3 years. All I do is smoke pot now. My head has never been clearer. And you're going to be meeting a very different person that also has worked on themselves for the past 10 years through dialectical behavioral therapy, and has also been under therapy since I was 7 years old. I'm a very different person than I was before. So in that response, you're going to need to do your research before you're going to be able to strike up an argument with me, number 1. Number 2, I'm a YouTuber. Part of my job is research. Even Cora will tell you, my entire morning is literally lining up YouTubes to listen to get information from multiple different sources. And you guys, and it gets kind of repetitive too, because I don't listen to just one source like about Meghan Markle. I will listen to 5 or 6 different YouTubers, from Trish Regan to Megyn Kelly to Clownfish Media to I can't name them all off the top. I'm so bad with names. I need to get better with names. Anyway, but that's all I do in the morning is research. So if you want to come at me with factual and based information and have a conversation, no problems. But a child has gotten a hold of the keyboard. I can tell you this already. I can tell you this already, that a child has gotten a hold of the keyboard. Hello, little one. Why do I have a feeling it's little Silas? Oh, I already know it. At first, I was like 55 plus. I think she was trying to say something, but this one, no, I realized. Hey, Cora, your little one has grabbed the keyboard. Yep, I knew it. Oh, you can always tell a kid typing, you know? It's kind of funny. Well, I don't mind. He wanted to feel special. Hi, little one. It's good to see you. I have a feeling it was Silas. And if it was, hi, Silas. There, you got your name announced. So, and I totally just lost train of thought because Cora's little ones, oh, they just make me smile. Anyway, on to my next rant. LA, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, huh. So for those for that little gentleman, yeah. I have grown up in San Diego, born and raised. Now, why am I happy that I don't live in California, even though everybody is calling these peaceful protests? Because they called the Los Angeles riots in 1991 peaceful protests until they weren't. And to tell you the truth, once they called in the National Guard and they dispersed them all in LA during those riots, I highly remember gunfire and bad things coming down to San Diego, to the point that we had, I don't know, destruction on a massive level because people decided to steal vehicles and things that, yeah. There was even a situation where a gentleman stole a tank and decided to rampage California. Was it connected to the LA riots? Indirectly. I mean, people were pretty pissed, I can tell you that. So why do they concern me? Because even though you may think they're peaceful protests, the fact that city buildings are being tagged, cars are being burned, American flags are being burned. You have a bunch of people marching down literally the center of LA, carrying Mexican flags, demanding for our rights, for the rights of America, for their rights in America, while carrying the Mexican flag. Like, you literally have anarchy going on in California, in San Diego, in LA, and ultimately, guess who's going to have to pay for it? The taxpayers. They're destroying their own city. It's no offense, and this is going to be a very controversial connection, but it's no better than January 6th. It's what they're doing in LA to the LA buildings and to the ICE and everything else. It's no better than what they did on January 6th. Frankly, it's the same thing, just the other side of the country. It's still like there's no point in creating property damage to get your point across, because ultimately in the end, all that's paying for that property damage is the taxpayers. Like, you're literally pissing off the people that you're demanding your rights from. So, and here's the thing, I have no problem I have plenty of friends here I have plenty of friends that are documented immigrants, plenty of friends. My client, my most recent client, her husband, they're here legally. They're having no problems. And I found it very interesting because one of the reasons I left California, literally one of the reasons that I left California, was because I could not get a job. I ended up homeless in 2018, 2019, because I could not get a job, because everybody was asking me, are you a citizen? Because if you're not, we'll hire you. So you cannot tell me that to that gentleman who told me that I need to understand what's going on in California before I have my opinion, trust me. And for the young lady who doesn't seem to understand what is really going on with your homeless, trust me. I dealt with people that were fully capable of holding down jobs, that were hacking phones, were breaking into computers, were doing genius level stuff. And I straight up told them, why are you living on the street? Do you realize that if you did what you're doing for a company, you can make millions? You know what they said to me? I'd rather be homeless, let the government pay my way, and do my drugs. None of the people, I was there on the street with them, homeless, because they couldn't get a job, even doing drugs to the point because I was starving through the night freezing, and it was one way to stay warm and stay occupied. I used the system to get out. I figured it out. I got out. I'm sorry, but to the gentleman or to the young lady who doesn't understand what the problem is you're all fighting for people who don't want you fighting for them. I tried when I was homeless to help them. They didn't want my help. And also, did you know you're dumping your money into a bunch of shelters that nobody uses? Because as someone who was on the street, the last place you go is a shelter. Why? Because as a female, you're either going to get raped, sex trafficked, or mugged. Because there's nobody gives a damn about anybody in a shelter. There's no cops, there's no security. So to all those people that are sending money and funding all these homeless things, why don't you actually, like the young lady who didn't want to listen to me, why don't you actually listen to the people who've been through it, who have used the resources to get out, and who can tell you that you all are fighting and not like, God, you guys listen to my stories. I heard them literally talking about how they've integrated people up through the system. The Mexican cartel because they were high, because everybody in the room was high on drugs and they thought that nobody was going to be able to remember anything, for not realizing that people like me who took Ritalin for their entire lives, some drugs don't affect them the way others do, can remember this shit. And actually we're informants, and that might be why one of the reasons that things are happening the way they're happening. But we're telling stories about how they literally had put people in place through the government. And when I said, oh, please, you can't do that, he was like, they literally looked at me and they said, you have no idea. We have judges, we have congressmen, we have court systems literally locked with our sleeper agents. As soon as we give the whistle, they will enact. I said this for years because of the fact that they talked about this on the street, but they talked about it to a bunch of homeless druggies that they thought wouldn't take them seriously. Well, some of us took you seriously, and some of us have friends in high places. And there's a lot of us that ended up getting a lot of help because of the fact that we talked. So for those people on my Facebook page who want to accuse me, and by the way, for the gentleman who said, oh, just because I hung out with a few low life whatevers doesn't mean that, there's not baby addict or addicts of babies of addicts out there. So I guess either they're babies of addicts or low life scum. There's no in between. Like, do your research before you come at me about who's on the street, because trust me, I lived with them for a year. Most of them, they don't want to not be homeless. They want the government to continue subsidizing their payments through medical and food stamps so that they can live out in the forest and do their drugs, because that's what makes them happy. Most of these people have kids. Most of the people use the welfare and the child support they get for the kids on drugs. You'd be surprised that one guy, I remember a gentleman who literally received over $1,400 a month in subsidized from child support to everything else. Guess where he was with me? In a cockroach-infested shithole doing drugs, because he had no interest. And I remember saying to him, because I didn't even know he had a kid, and I didn't even know he had that kind of money until he was walking around with a brand new, and I know it was brand new, and I thought he had hawked it too. Trust me, my first instinct was that you stole that. No, it was brand new. It was purchased with the receipt. He had the money. That's also when I found out that he stole for fun. Like, these people that you're advocating for are literally the lowest of lows. The ones that are decent people are trying to do it the legal way. And most of these people that were out on the street that I was hanging out with didn't want to do it the legal way because they all had rap sheets. They were all criminals. There is not a single thing that ICE and Trump have stated about these people in California that isn't true. And I experienced it firsthand for an entire freaking year. And I got that. And guess what? When I figured out exactly what they're doing and I started breaking their game, they tried to take me out. And I have a lot of stories that are coming out in my Psycho to Psychic series about them poisoning my water bottles with MDMA, about them trying to switch out certain things in certain pipes, Like they were convincing me that I was going crazy. And here's the funny thing. You can't convince somebody who has been on psych meds their entire life and has been under psychiatric care their entire life that they're hallucinating. Like, you can't gaslight somebody like that. It doesn't work. It might work for everyone else, but guess what? I was too damn smart. I know the difference between a drug hallucination and an actual hallucination because guess what? I'm also a psychic. And that was another way that they knew that. I'll never forget the day that I did a tarot reading for Anthony. And I got 3 cards in and I folded up that shuffle and I said, "You're full of shit." I said, "I'm not doing this reading for you anymore." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "You're lying to me. You're full of shit." I said, "You're bullshitting me through this reading and I'm not going to do it for you." And he said, "How the hell would you know?" And I said, "Because I'm a psychic. That's how I know." And it pissed me the hell off because I was just like, you really didn't honestly, like, you were testing me. And that's also why I don't do tests anymore, because it's been proven to me too many times. But I'll never forget his reaction, because after that, he navigated very differently around me. Enjoy your time in jail, Anthony. Love ya. So anyway, we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. Has Kibby had an eventful life? Way too damn eventful, guys. That was just 2019. That was just 2018 to 2019. I died in 2017. Before, like, you have no idea. I was in LA. And that, guys, that was before my time. And that was after my time in LA in the early 2000s. Why do you think I know so much about the whole Tootsie Roll thing? You have no idea. I was a curious little cat who got my nose everywhere in California. And it got me in a lot of trouble sometimes. But at the same time, the amount of information that I know about stuff that is going on right now is inconceivable. Because also, here's the other thing. I may not have been able to necessarily vocalize all of it when I was on all those psych meds, but you guys, elephant memory, because those psych meds make you remember, and it sucks. So on that note, we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint, because yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing here anyway. So I'm going to hopefully, actually, I might take a breather after that little rant. Definitely getting some more coffee. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. And when we get back, oh yeah, I'm going to be talking about Queen Camille, because if you haven't heard the drama that's going on in the royal family right now, and Meghan and Harry have nothing to do with this one. Oh, this was like, I think I like this kind of gossip better because it's literally so like moving the shadows behind the scenes. It's such a Charlotte Dobray, like petty, like couch, but it's such the Charlotte Dobray petty vibe, if you all are fans of her. So when we get back, I'm going to be talking about that. So in 20 minutes, I will see you. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute. And that's the end of that sprint. And I'm glad I looked over because I'm sitting here doing tongue twisters because my mouth decided to stop functioning while I'm doing voiceovers. And yeah, Sinful Caesar saved my, sorry. So if you've never heard of it, one of the tongue twister I'm talking about, it's Sinful Caesar sift his snifter, seized his knees and sneezed. And I know it simply because my mother, being the choir and drama teacher that she was, had a multitude of tongue twisters to warm up to for her drama department. And that was just one of those that always stuck in my head because it's not easy to say. And once I got it down, I was like, I'm never losing this. But if it wasn't for Simple Caesar, I wouldn't have ever looked over and noticed the timer was off. So thank you, sir. Anyway, how did we do during that sprint? I got up to 430. That's not right. I'm at minute mark 1625 from minute mark 12 something. So I was able to get a couple of minutes done in voiceovers. I had to help my mom with something because she had a couple of questions. So that's why I disappeared for a minute. Yeah, it has been, it's definitely been a day of distractions today, and I'm all for it, truthfully, because it's been a non-productive weekend, and I've needed productivity. 2 minutes edited, nice, and warmed up myself food, nice, yes, because guess what? You need to stay awake because, yes, we have to record in a little while. So, do I really need to call you at 9 o'clock your time? I think you're here. Because technically, isn't it 9 o'clock your time? Anyway, let me know if I still need to call you. But on that note, I'm going to rant a little bit before we dip out of this stream because I have got to get this off my chest about Miss Camille. No need to call. Okay. So Camille, whatever you want to call her. So I thought this came across my feed and I've just kind of, I like listening a little bit to British news. I usually watch Sky News and another, I think it's the BBC News and a couple other sites that are European, Australian news. I keep in touch with the rest of the world kind of. And I've been watching this story for a minute and I thought it was absolutely hilarious because I think it's hilarious because the video that I'm about to mention that started my interest in this whole thing, I can't find now because I think they kind of swept it under the rug. There was one of my reporters, one of my UK reporters, came across a story where evidently Princess Catherine had caught through paperwork that Queen Camille had been quietly taking Princess Diana's jewels that had been promised to Princess Charlotte and the grandchildren and handing them off to her grandchildren in her family. Well, Catherine, quietly being the diplomat behind the scenes, just kind of had things changed. And I'm pretty sure that she brought this to the attention of her husband because Princess Diana had left in her will and the Queen had requested in her will that Diana's wishes be held, that Princess Charlotte get Princess Diana's jewelry, all of it. So Catherine's never been one. I think Catherine's a lot like me in the sense that like you can walk all over me all you want, but do not go after my family. And I think that's kind of what's going on. I think Mama Bear came out behind the scenes and I think she moved in the shadows. And silently, from what I heard, silently things were placed back where they were supposed to go. And suddenly, Camille's brother was no longer allowed or invited and quietly removed from guest lists when prior to this, both Camille's brother and her nephew had kind of been predominant figures in the entire social archy of the royal family. It was very clear, even to me, being an American, a total outsider, that Camille was trying to worm her family into the royal family. Well, here's the problem. This is what I even see from the other side. Camille may have Charles by the balls, but Diana had Charles by the heart because she gave him children. And if there's anything that comes before Camilla, whatever, is his children. And she crossed a line because I'm pretty sure that by hurting Catherine the way Camille did by trying to move the jewelry, she in turn hurt William. And in hurting William, she hurt her own husband. And she did not think that this would happen. Well, silently, this stuff's kind of been swept under the rug and is now difficult to find. But the one thing that you are able to find is the fact that Camille has now been basically stripped of her title. She is now queen consort. Catherine is now queen to be. And it has already been assigned by Charles. The duties have already started being passed down. And this is one of those karmic hammers that I was just like, this is the biggest karmic hammer that could have come down for Camille, because the truth is she really thought that she had won. She really thought that she had achieved her goal as to becoming like her family becoming part of, intertwined into the family bloodline. But let's just say that the future children of the monarchy have a very clear plan and a very clearly defined future that they want to instill and be a part of. And that future, it does not involve Camilla's family becoming part of the royal family. From what I can see, once Charles has passed, Camille will hold some standing out of respect for their father. But as far as she's concerned, I have a feeling that truths, real truths, will come out once Charles passes. And I don't think Camilla will be able to save face at all, ever, because a lot of, like I've said this for years, a lot of people forget that you are your show for your children, and your children watch and remember everything. And I guarantee you there's stuff that William and Harry know about what went on behind the scenes that they've kept their mouth shut about, which, considering how much Harry has talked, I feel like he actually does have a massive amount of respect for his father, or he would have spilled a lot more beans than what he's been spilling. Is William having to possibly save face because he might be on a certain list that might come out soon, and that might be actually why he's panicking about having special coverage when it comes to his safety here in America? Maybe. Does William and Catherine maybe already know this and might be why they're trying to distance themselves now? Maybe. There's a lot of stuff that I can see that I can't attest to, because you guys, I see it as a psychic. I read it in the cards, but I don't have any confirmation of any of it. But I do believe that the truth of family secrets will honestly will literally implode themselves once Charles dies, because boys will be boys and brothers will be brothers. So on that note, I'm super happy because I've never liked that woman. I understand, like, from what, okay, I shouldn't say I understand. From what I see on the other side and what I've been told by both angels and people the entities that I believe I speak to, and knowledge that I have of the past, I do believe that maybe there was like Camille was Camille was first, actually, but because she wasn't accepted by the queen, Diana was technically first, and like there's this whole swap of like, well, technically Charles cheated on Camille first with Diana, and then Diana, and then he cheated on Diana with Camille, and it was like this, like it was just a messy situation from what I hear, and it was definitely not a love triangle, because Diana and Camille hated each other, but they definitely both were in love with the same man, and the man might have been in love with both of them. And from what I can see, it's just, yeah. On that note, though, we have reached the end of our stream. Oh my God, I got an idea. I will tell you later. Oh my gosh, that can be in reference with so many things with you. An idea in regards to the new channel, and an idea in regards to your channel, an idea in regards to my channel, and an idea in regards to the business, an idea in regards to what I'm talking about in this situation in regards to Cora. with how much we talk about, how can you, it might be things a little bit easier. It might make things a little bit easier. That still doesn't help me reference, like, okay, I'll just wait until you call me later. But we are at the end of the stream, so I'll pick up your glasses because we're going to end it like this. Just remember, if you did enjoy this content, like and subscribe. The YouTube algorithm really does like it. I'd love to hit 500 subscribers so that on Friday, Psychic Fridays, we can do readings and we can do super chats and it'll be a lot easier. My goal is to hit 200 by summer. We're almost there. So if you like, share to your friends. The more we can get out there, the better off we'll be. And guys, may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Cheers and bye.